Greetings, Judah. DFG here, getting slight. Hey guys, how many of you are familiar with the saying, you know, if it wasn't so damn serious, you know what I'm saying, I would laugh. Now that might be not exactly the way that the statement would go. Or, you know what I'm saying? You know, if it wasn't, you know, it's so damn funny and it's serious, but it's at the same time serious that maybe a better way to say it, I have to laugh to keep from crying. And the reason I bring that to your attention today is because, you know, there's a lot of information out there, and, you know, talking about, you know, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, in relationship to plans for zombies, for a zombie apocalypse. Y'all know what that means, zombies, humans, but humans who are not necessarily humans. That there are plans for a zombie apocalypse. And then there's another video I saw just recently where the military is training, or were training soldiers, again, on how to deal with zombies. And that training was being sponsored by the Center for Disease Control. Now, how ironic. The Center for Disease Control. Disease control. Think about it. What control diseases? What are we being told that is in place to control the spread of diseases? And now they're building up an army to fight, to protect themselves. That army is not going to protect us. You better understand that the army is supposed to be in place to protect the nation from abroad, not at home. But as we already know, that army has been called in, and they are here. Or at least many of those soldiers are back here. They've been recalled, so to speak. And if they're home for a purpose, they're home for a reason, because they realize that something is going to happen domestically here in America, that their services are going to absolutely be required. And whether it is the people who are losing their jobs because they refuse to obey the mandate, whether it is people who have accepted the mandate and participated in the mandate are no longer controllable, or what have you. But I talk about this because I want you to understand, first of all, you know, zombie, that's relatively a new word. You know, that word zombie probably hadn't been around more than 100+ years, I suspect. So it's a new word, but not a new behavior. Let me say that to you again. It's a new word, zombies. It's a new word, but not a new behavior. Not only is it not a new behavior, we were warned. We were warned, you know, by the Messiah, Yeshua. You know, him who came to redirect us back to the law, statutes, and the commandments so that we would have Yahweh's salvation. Yahuwah's salvation, I'm sorry. He came to redirect us so that we can embrace the salvation of Elohim. And we embrace that through what? Obeying the law, statutes, and the commandments. Not to just listen, but we have to do them. But he warned us. He said there would be zombies in the land. But he didn't use the word zombie, because that word would not have been a word they would have equated zombies, or those who would have the mindset of a zombie. That word would not have been, that word was not available to associate it. So the way Yeshua said it, now listen to this carefully. This is how Yeshua said it. He said they would have eyes to see, but they could not see. He said they would have ears to hear, but they would not be able to hear. Does that sound zombie-like to you? Because as we think of zombies, what? They seem to see but not see. They see only what they want. Right? They only see their prey. They hear only the sound of their prey. They don't even hear each other. They only hear what they want to hear. Again, Yeshua said they would be here in the last days, because this is all a part of the warnings in the days, last days. And so when you look at these zombie apocalypse movies, Walking Dead, those are just, what they do is art imitating life. They're dog whistling. They know it's coming, but they got you so seduced. Most people are so seduced in that it's science fiction and that it's not real, that it's just, for entertainment purposes, that you don't even realize that you're really looking in the mirror of history. You're literally looking at prophecy. And if you knew your book, you would know that. And if you had the proper teaching, you would have understood this. So he says they would have eyes to see, but could not see, ears to hear, but could not hear, like a zombie, just falling. I mean, he also stated, that if the blind was to lead the blind, what would happen? They both would fall into the ditch. Is that not zombie? If you ever seen these zombie, again, Walking Dead, so-called science fiction, horror, whatever, is that not what's going on? The Quiet Place, all these things that are out right now. For telling you this, because they want you to not believe your eyes. Because see, what they're doing is if they can get you to believe that there's no such thing as zombies and that's just a bunch of bull crap, then what you're going to do, you're not going to prepare yourself. You're certainly not going to turn back to Elohim. You're certainly not going to get yourself in the place of salvation because you're going to feel there's no need to. It's just movies. It's not real. But in all actuality, it is real. It's very real. And he said the blind would be leading the blind. Zombies. And if that's not enough, let me give you the third precept. Gave you two. What he said, in addition to that, he said that broad was the path and wide was the gate that leaded to where? Destruction. And many would follow that path. Who would be many? Well, many would be a lot of people who have conformed to the mandate. They have, accepted that direction. The blind up top leading the blind down at the bottom to destruction. But of course, they're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you this is to control it. Well, if it's to control it, what's the purpose of the military? And secondly, why would the military be contact tracing and knocking on doors and things like that? To enforce it. Warp speed, we all heard that. So here's the book telling us, here's Yeshua, our book, our history book, Israel book, Judah's book, forewarning us that the zombies are being formed or transformed, transhumanism, that the humans are being transformed into zombies, and yet most of you think it's BS, hogwash. You don't believe it. And it's happening right in front of your eyes. So what does that mean? That means you have eyes to see and you cannot see. That means your understanding is, for lack of a better word, warped. That you are actually living in the disillusionment of what the rulers of the darkness of this world has not only encouraged you to do it, but convinced you that it's the right thing to do. Yet, they've brought soldiers in. What do soldiers do? Well, I know one of the things they do, they kill zombies. If we're going to look at the movies, they kill zombies. And when you think in terms of broad is the path, wide is the gate that leadeth to destruction, and many are going to go that way. See, that's a prophecy. What our book is telling us that a lot of people are going to obey the mandate, are going to be obedient slaves, and they're going to do exactly what they're told until their own destruction. They're going to need the military because after a while, they're not going to be able to control these zombies. These zombies are going to start doing unpredictable things, and they know it. Because there is no medication that operates the same way with every single body. People have different reactions to medication. Any medical expert would tell you that. But yet everybody is more or less being encouraged to take what? One of the three. Without any regard of the side effects, and every medicine that you know that is what we consumed could perceived as an over-the-counter prescription drug has multiple side effects. I'm saying multiple. In other words, many, many, many side effects. Hell, just go watch any pharmaceutical commercial and they'll tell you, take this drug, but by the way, it's going to help your skin, but it could cause liver disease. It could cause, in addition to that, glaucoma. And also may cause heart disease. And if it takes you in depression, see your doctor. If you're pregnant, don't take it. Really? Why would they prescribe something as a cure for your body, but tell you that if it's another body inside of your body, or an infant, or in your body, that don't take it because it can harm the infant, but it's not going to harm you? Because they expect you never to question anything, just to comply. The blind leading the blind. And see, when this thing that was put out here, wherever it came from, see, when it and then what's added to this thing to really cause people to go berserk. Yeah, it's going to cause people to go berserk. Literally crazy. And you're going to see people doing destructive things like you could never imagine. You know what I'm saying? If you look at, America's history, we've seen how Americans can be some of the most violent humans on this planet. We've seen them slaughter and murder and hang and rape and maim and sell and rape and burn and hang and rape and burn and execute and electrocute gas. We've seen them do everything under the sun when they're sane, or supposed to be sane in their right minds. What do you think America can do with that mentality when there's nothing supposedly wrong with them, when something is now causing them based off of something that they were told was harmless, that it was just preventive measures, and now these same people are walking around totally out of control. You know the danger that's going to put many of us in? And this is what I'll say to you, to my brothers and sisters who are standing your ground. And you know what I'm talking about. Who you say, not me, not ever. Not now, not ever. I'm talking about those of us, not now, not ever. See us? We're going to be the ones who are going to be in a battle for our lives. Our very lives. Because I can assure you, whatever's in them zombies, they're not necessarily going to attack each other. They will when they're fighting for food. Unfortunately, we're going to be the food they're fighting for. Sister, you heard me correctly. You, me, us men are going to be the food that they're going to be fighting for. Because if you're paying attention to the economic market right now, we're running out of food. I mean, China just told its people. China is a nation of 1.5 billion people, give or take, depending on who you ask. Over 1 billion people have been told to store up food right now for a whole year. For 1 year. They're being told right now to store food for a year. Now, we've been talking about this for years, telling you and warning you to store up food. You haven't listened. Not most of you haven't listened. And now you're going to deal with the consequences. Because now some of you are going to run out there now. Well, I'm going to go get it now. All right. Good luck to you. That's all I can tell you, because there's not a lot out there. And if you think there's not a lot today, you wait till tomorrow. Wait till payday Friday. Wait for EBT the 30th or 1st or whatever that is, welfare, whatever you get. You wait till then. It's gonna be a hell of a lot less. In other words, you have put yourself in harm's way because of your own lack of willingness to not only listen, but to trust the book. And the book says there will be famine. Did not Yeshua say in Matthew 24? He said there will be famine and diseases ravaging the earth in the last days. He said it. And he wasn't the only one to say it. He was the only one. He was not the only one to share that. And if you've been following this channel, I've given you scripture where they say that you're going to be eating your own children. Some people will be, not you, I hope not you, but going to be eating their own children because they're going to be starving to death. So what do you think those zombies are going to be doing when the food runs out? And what are you going to do if you have no food? You're going to have to go out there amongst them zombies trying to find scraps to feed your family, to feed yourself. And you're going to become the meal. Just like you see in the damn movies that they're showing out there. They're showing you how it happens. They catch some couple slipping. Some woman out there by herself. With no man, no covering. But she got a gun. They snatch that gun out of her hand and finish her up real fast. How you, a gun ain't gonna do you no good if you got 20 people coming at you at one time. Who's gonna watch your back, sister? Who can you trust to watch your back? Who, your other sister, who they gonna be trying to get, that gonna be attacking them as well? What did our book say? That in that day and time that I'm talking about right now, that is here, and it's only gonna intensify, it's only gonna get worse. He said that you better hope you don't have no children. Didn't he say that? He said you better hope you don't have no children. No babies, no little children. Because it's gonna be even worse for you. If you remember the movie, I'm sure it was The Quiet Place, where the little boy was walking down the damn walkway with his family and something come out of nowhere and snatched the damn kid. And before they knew it, they were like, where did he go? The damn beast snatched it and ran off and ate him. Oh, you don't believe me. All right. You don't have to believe me. But you should at least believe the book. And I'm giving it from you straight from the Bible. Everything I'm talking to you is from the Bible. And facts in terms of what's going on with CDC. Go look it up for yourself. So it's not about believing DFG. It's about whether or not you have done your research. And in doing that research, have you taken the necessary precautions to ensure that you don't become the prey of other human beings. It's as simple as that. And brothers, you too. You know, and for you brothers, you know, be careful. Because unfortunately, because of the emasculating of our men, most of so-called Israelite men, so-called black Negroes, most of these men don't know how to use their hands. They don't know how to use their hands to work. And they damn sure don't know how to use their hands to protect themselves. So you take their weapon from them, their guns or whatever from them, they're just as defenseless as a female. And you sisters out there, you better know that. Some of you out there laying up with some of these guys or thinking about laying up with some of these guys or dating some of these guys, and you know that guy don't have no puck in him. Puck, juice, testosterone. No puck in him. Hell, you're controlling him, you know, like he's your child versus, you know, honoring him as your man because you can't trust his judgment. You can't trust his ability to sustain the family. You can't trust him. Because he's still wearing, you know, grown man diapers. Still mama's boy. He's still looking for you to make the decision. So he's not going to be much good, you know, to defend you in these wicked days to come. He's not. I just want you to know. And oh yeah, he's going to be everything that can potentially happen to you, my sister. And some of you men out there, you know men, maybe it applies to you. I don't know. But I will say that some of you ain't going to be able to fight off nobody coming to take your masculinity away from you. And what I mean by that, taking your masculinity away from you, is they're going to violate your body as a rapist violates a woman's body when she can't defend or she's not protected. Same thing gonna happen to many of the so-called badass men, toxic men, because they got a gun. Because you looking at them saying you take their weapon from them, Joker can't bust a grape. They lay around and you've been trained. They've been trained, you brothers. Some of you brothers have been trained to just lay around playing, your video games all day long instead of being outside, working, exercising, staying healthy, being prepared for whatever it is to come that may call upon you to defend your family and yourself. But you were seduced with games. NBA, I forgot the name of them. Y'all know the name of them because most of you sitting around playing them. Madden 2021. And you sat there, and now you're totally out of shape. Totally out of shape. Yeah, you might be 150 pounds soaking wet, but you couldn't run 5 miles if your life depended upon it. You couldn't fight with your fist for 5 minutes if your life depended on it. You have no stamina, no wind. But all you got is enough to get into one of these little silly women's beds with them, have sex, have an orgasm, turn over, and go to sleep. And then she got to go wipe your dirt from between her legs. That's what most of these devils out here have. I'm talking about those who are living in this system that is encouraging them to be zombie-like, irresponsible, emasculated. No toxicity. Lacking toxicity, which is a natural hormonal defense mechanism. You're supposed to be toxic, and yet they taught you and they pushed this on men, that that's toxic, that's narcissistic, and we can't have all these toxic men, but they teaching the women to be toxic. Taught you not to be toxic and encouraged her through feminism to be toxic. Because they know she's not going to be able to defend herself when these zombies come. And they don't want you to be able to defend her either, brother, when they come. But then again, let me not forget, some of you are going to be the zombies. Because you've already conformed. You've already taken it. All 3 times. And probably a 4th time when they decide to give it to you, and they will. But for you holdouts, for you, the elect of Elohim, brothers and sisters, Elohim promised that he will shorten the days. Because if he didn't, even we wouldn't make it. But he said for our sake, he's going to shorten the days. So the end of this world is going to come a lot sooner than some of you think. But it's not because you were right or wrong with it. Bottom line is, he's going to shorten the days to save Israel, to save us, the believers, those who have taken the stand and trusted his word. Those of us who understand the importance of what the commandments and the statutes mean to us. It's our culture, it's our foundation, it's our truth, it's our salvation. So China has warned its people. Europe is warning their people. I'm sure the other nations, because they don't report on them anymore. You watch the mainstream media, they're too busy talking about the devil Biden and the rest of the crooks up there in D.C. You follow me? They don't even bring to you world news anymore. Because they knew if they brought world news to you, they would have to reveal to you what they're trying to hide from you, and that the rest of the world is in a state of panic because they know what's coming, while you're sitting over here crying out or listening to people telling you things going to get back to normal soon. Just comply. Just be a zombie so things can go back to normal. What the book says, when they cry peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them like a thief in the night. Isn't that what our book has stated and shared with us? But that's what they're telling you. Don't pay attention to the obvious. Although you see the shelves emptying, You see people getting sick and dying right before your eyes. You see people changing in front of your eyes. You see artificial intelligence being integrated with human beings right in front of your eyes. You see them crossbreeding animals and doing all kind of things, through their experiment, demon wickedness. All these things, weapons that would blow your mind if you knew what kind of weapons they had. And yet, you pay no attention to that. It's happening right in front of you, and you take no account of it. All you care about, I guess, what you gonna eat, where you gonna sleep, where you gonna go, who you gonna screw. And I guess, some of you, your white Jesus or black Jesus, whichever one you serve. Your Sunday worship, your choir, who, the next ball game, the next concert, next festival, holiday. All meaningless, time-wasting events. Trenched in idolatry, sorcery. Talking about your holidays and your fanatic. You know what fan is? Fan is a short for the word fanatic. So in other words, when you say I am a fan, you're saying I'm a fanatic. But see, they shorten the word from fanatic to fan because fan sounds very close to fun. And then they kind of crossbreeded the two, so you think a fan is just somebody who's having fun, when really a fan means that you're a fanatic. You're a fanatic. That means you're an idolater. You're an idol worshiper. But they won't say that to you. They would never, he's a fanatic for the saints. Well, somebody, I ain't no damn fanatic. Well, you call yourself a fan. Yes, you are. You're obsessed with them. The game coming on, you ain't doing nothing but watching the game. I've been there, done that. Lost in the abyss of time wasting. But by the grace of Yah, he took me out. I might be wearing the damn cap, but I don't give a damn about the sport or the teams. But I bring this forward to you because y'all put it on my heart to tell you the zombies are real. We were foretold 2,000 years ago that zombies would walk the earth. Many of us read it and we never understood what we were reading. Never understood it. We saw the words, but we never connected it. We just assumed it meant mindless humans obeying other mindless humans to their own demise. Zombies. I got a good question. I have a question for you, my sister. Are you a zombie? Are you on your way to a state of zombiness, brother? Are you a zombie? Because remember, in this book of life, there's only two choices you have. There's only two choices. You're either a zombie or you're not. You're going to be one or you aren't going to be one. There's no middle ground. It's either hot or cold, in or out. Yes or no. So again, are you a zombie? Will you become a zombie? Will enough pressure placed on you financially cause you to make the decision to become a zombie? Because our book foretells that many of you are going to do it. Many. He said, broad is the path, wide is the gate, and that leadeth to destruction, destroying of their souls. And many will comply. Many of our people are going to obey the blind leaders of the blind in their mandates. But he says, straight is the path, and narrow is the gate that will lead back to Elohim, everlasting life. And very few will find it. Which group are you in? So that's your question today, my brother. What group are you going to be in? Are you going to be in the zombie group? Or are you going to be amongst the living group? This brings to mind one more thing. Zombie. I'm going to give you 4 now. We talked about ears to hear and eyes to see but could not see. We talked about blind lead the blind and go into the ditch. We talked about, broad is the path that leads to destruction. Well, here's the last one I'm going to leave you with. Praise Yah. You know, what did our book says? How did he said this way? Wow, it's gonna come back to me. I was afraid to give you the other three because I knew the minute I did that, you know, the enemy would try to come in and cause me to get the fourth. Maybe I'll get to it before we finish this video. But there's one more precept that's sitting right there, as they say, on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me. But what are you going to do? Are you going to be with those of the living? See, Yah is good. Here's the fourth one. Remember when Yeshua was teaching, and one of his disciples, one of his followers, said unto him, "Excuse me, Master. My father has died, and I need to go and bury my father. Can I be excused?" You know what Yeshua told him? No. You stay right here and let the dead bury their dead. Zombies. The dead burying dead. The walking dead. He said, let the walking dead bury their dead. Let the walking dead bury the dead amongst them. That's what he told him. See, this is why this teaching is healthy for us. This is why we need men and women who can bring back to remembrance these things. Because many of us have heard this. Not the first time your ears have heard what I'm sharing. But that question, or the question I present before you, what understanding did you have? And did you connect that to the end times or these times that we're in right now? Yeah, many of them associating it with the mark of the beast and all that, which is, again, I guess that would be number 5. He forces them all, great and small, rich and poor, to take the mark in their forehead or forehand. And those who did not take it were ostracized, quarantined, eliminated, destroyed. I'm talking about by the zombies. The truth hidden in plain sight. So again, are you going to be amongst the living dead, or are you going to be amongst the living of Elohim? It's time to choose. If you haven't already chose, it's time to choose. And men like myself bring forth this message, these messages, because we want you to be thinking. We want you to put your thinking cap on. We want you to go back to the book before they destroy the book. Yeah, our history book. Now that we know the book is written about us, how long do you think they're going to tolerate us having those books in our possession? Now that we know that we're the people of the book, how long do you think they're going to tolerate that? Every time one of the brothers bring it up that we're the Israelites, whether it's Nick Cannon or what's his name, Deshaun Jackson, anytime a brother bring it up, they damn near throw these guys out of whatever industry that they're in. But they can toss us out all they want. They still can't change the truth. The truth is the truth. Elohim said their time is over with. He says that the end of Esau, who will be in power, will destroy the world. But the new world will be Jacob, or Israel, who will rule it and lead it after the destroying of it by Esau, Edom, the Greeks, the Romans, the Italians, the so-called, light-skinned nations of this earth who hate us, and some of the dark-skinned ones too, who equally hate us. So the zombies are real. Are you prepared? Do you have food? Do you have a place that you can go to for safety? Have you surrounded yourself with like-minded men and women who are willing to hold out to the end if necessary? Or are you still going alone like nothing is happening? Yeah, I know it's getting serious. Yeah, I know, but it's too negative. I don't really want to think about that. Let's talk about that later. For you, Santa is coming. So be sure to leave some milk and cookies out. Put them right under the chimney, okay? Now make sure that the chimney, is open. It don't have to be open because Santa will figure out how to get down in there anyway, though. But just put some milk and cookies under there. And then make sure you got a tree that Jeremiah chapter 10 tells you and 5 tells you ain't supposed to have in your damn house. But Anyway, make sure you got a tree too with some decor on it that signals sorcery, but you're not supposed to know that either. But make sure you got your milk and your cookies for Santa this coming Christmas. Because at the end of the day, if Santa don't bring it, you probably ain't going to have it, because all the stuff that you normally would buy is still sitting out there on the ocean. Oh, by the way, that applies to Thanksgiving as well. You're going to force your hand. Now, here's what I'll leave you with. I talked about, the blind leading the blind. I talked about the dead burying their dead. I talked about broad is the path that leadeth to destruction, right? I talked about eyes to see but can't see, ears to hear but can't hear. Why don't you just Google that up so you can go find those scriptures and read it for yourself? Why don't you just Google up, they're going to force everybody who wants to live to take the mark of the beast. And if you're not willing to hold out into debt, you're going to take it. Why don't you go look that up? Matter of fact, I can help you with that one. That's right there. The others are in the Gospels, the Basura. But the mark of the beast that I'm talking about, that's right there, Matthew 13. And be sure when you read Matthew 13, right around, I think it's verses 11, 12, 13, right? The last 3 or 4 verses. Also read Revelation chapter 14, so you can understand what's going to happen to you if you do what Revelation 13 is saying many of you are going to do, many of the zombies are going to do. That's how they're leading to destruction. That's that broad path. See, that's the precept. That's the connection to it. Again, don't feel bad if you don't understand or you did not understand what I'm sharing. Y'all loved you enough to open your eyes. That's why you're listening today. So that means there's hope for you. That there's still a plan, there's a process for you. There's a way out for you. At least that's what I like to believe. But what I believe and what you believe means nothing if you don't start doing something about it. And this is the warning. This is your warning. This is your last chance for some of you. I hope you take heed. I'm not going to say I pray, because I'm not going to pray. I don't know you well enough to pray for you. And y'all don't hear the prayers of the unrighteous anyway. If your heart ain't right, y'all ain't, my praying for you ain't not going to help you. But I can have hope that you might understand. I can have hope that if you don't understand, you'll find teachers. You'll be like the Ethiopian eunuch when he saw Philip on the road. And Philip asked him when he was coming from Pentecost. When Philip asked him, he said, do you understand what you're reading? And he said, he was reading our book. He said, how can I understand except somebody teach me? So, sisters out there, brothers out there, if the Bible is somewhat complex for you, talking about our history book, if it's somewhat complex for you, don't feel bad about that. Just get you a teacher who's not a part of religion, who has not been trained by theologians, who's not a part of the seminary, cemetery, wicked, boule, occultic, Baphomet, Baal worship system. Get you someone with a pure heart who loves Elohim enough that Elohim has given them the gift of teaching. Not unlike myself. It's my gift. Find somebody. Or stay on this channel. I promise you, I'm going to do everything in my power to point you in the right direction, but it doesn't matter. What they were saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I'm going to do everything in my power to point you in the right direction. The question is, will you go? Will you drink from the fountain of life? In other words, the book. Will you embrace the truth when you hear it? Will you open up your eyes so that you can see, your ears so that you can hear? At the end of the day, if it's that old saying, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to happen, it's up to you. But there's no more time to wait. Everything is drying up. The zombies are going to be coming to a city, a neighborhood near you. And without the protection and the wisdom and the strength of the body of Elohim, the believers, the power of the Ruach, and all those angels he's going to put around us to help us fight these battles, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And he said, you can't do this on. He said, well, there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name. That's what Yeshua told us, that Elohim is in the midst. If any 2 or 3 touch and agree upon anything, that Elohim will release it or bind it. In other words, put a stop to it. You can't do this by yourself. This is not one you can. I know some of you, I don't need nobody. Oh, yes, your ass do. You're in self-deception. You better cut it out. Yes, you do. Everybody needs somebody. If you don't need nobody, then where you got your food from today that you're eating? Where you purchase the gas from if you're driving? Or where'd you get the money from if you're on a bus? No such things. You don't need nobody. You need, where do you get your bar soap from? Your deodorant, the shoes or the shirt on your back. Where do you get that from? Since you don't need anybody. That's silliness. Cut it out. That's childish thinking. You're an adult. Think like one. But that said, that's all I have for you, my brothers and sisters. At least for right now. You know I'll be back. The zombies are here. CDC is warning us. The military is coming to enforce whatever they're going to be enforcing. And it's going to be your neighbor, your so-called friend girl, your so-called buddy. Unfortunately, who's going to become your predator. And if you're not careful, you may end up on his or her plate. Literally. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.